Hey, we are on part 8 of how to apply Hermosi's ultimate sales training in land investing on the sell side. So, Erica, what have we discussed so far? We started with
A lot.
a lot. Yes. We started with sales multipliers, right? We looked at sales training, like how do you conduct sales training. We looked at the pre-sale things we need to do, right? Um, Then we looked at the opening, how to set the agenda using the 3Ps, proof, promise, plan, how to follow the scripts. We got into closer framework. We looked at clarify why they're there. We looked at L, um, label them with a pain or goal, right? And O for overview of their past pain cycle or past experiences. So we covered that, right? We were in S, sell the vacation we finished. And we were looking at objection handling now. In E, explain away their concerns. What did we finish last time? Where did we stop? We did the all-purpose clauses.
Yeah, we finished with be like smoke, right?
We finished Be Like Smoke. We did the AAA framework. Childlike Curiosity, we finished. Be Like Smoke, we finished. Killing Zombies Early, right? That's where we're starting. All
Yeah.
right, let's get into it. So what does that mean? Killing zombies early. It means handle objections early. You know, if the zombies get too close to you, they bite you, so you want to kill them early from a distance before they get too close. Handle zombies early on in a sale. We use BANT, right? Typically, these are the zombies. Budget, authority, need, timing, right? Need and timing. So if they have the enough budget, do they have the authority to make the decision? Do they have this need? Are we trying to solve this need that they actually have or they don't? Timing, do they have? Can they make the decision in a time frame that we want them to, right? Because they're like, oh yeah, perfect land, but I can't buy until next year's Christmas bonus. Then disqualified. Okay, authority. Is there anyone else that needs to be on the call or involved in this decision? Need. The reason we do labeling upfront is because it gives us need. Timing. Are you good to start now? When would you like to start? And if we were to move forward, like when would you stop? When would you like to start if we move forward? Some of these things like budget, you can ask in the application or qualification process, which we do, right? That's the first thing. No?
We do have a thread where we need to make sure that we're really doing band.
Okay. Because right now we start with the cash sale and they say, oh, I don't have the money. And then we downsell them into payment plan.
Well, no, that's way further down. This is right at the very start in the setter portion.
Okay. You can also get an idea in the pain cycle of what their need was, what their timing was, what their budget was. Was your husband involved in that decision? Like in the previous decisions, we could kind of like get from that as well. You want to collect all the data around band before getting to the close. If you consistently have things that come up in the close and blow up on you, then you want to load these early in the sale before you ask for money. You ask to overcome things before money because there are no stakes on the table yet. If you're closing in person, you should be on the same side of the table, like literally. You shouldn't be like sitting opposite. But we never do in person.
Yeah.
Unless you let me open a shop in the mall. There's so much opportunity, Erica. No one is doing it. All right. Figuratively, or maybe we could just make this business super successful, and then when we have money, we can start like a private equity type home office, and then we can.
Well, when we have money, I want to start the conservation arm.
Figuratively, also, you should be on the same side of the table. Be their ally, guide, right? You want to be their guide. Yes.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the sale, well, the thought process was when we have enough money that we can do a private equity play where we help other businesses, and then we have real money where you can do conservation on.
Mm.
Right. Um, at the beginning of the sale, you want to be a fact finder, a helpful guide. But if you ask for money already, the frame has been shifted because now you're trying to extract money from them, right? That's why you ask band related data, handle things that blow up before asking for money, right? Because you start out with, you start the call with like, oh, I'm trying to help you as a guide. What are the problems? What are the goals you have, right? All those things. If we haven't asked for money, our frame can still be the guide, right? But once you ask for money, you're no longer a guide because you're asking for money,
Mm-hmm.
right? And your frame is like, now it's a transaction. It became transactional. So you need to do all the qualification and all those things as a helpful guide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, and that's it. So killing zombies early, handle objections, obstacles early. I don't know if there's anything we need to change on our side. I feel like we have a pretty good disqualification process, and then you have a thread already
Yeah.
for.
Per band. Yeah.
So move on.
Yeah.
All right. Next, when in doubt, say it back. When you repeat back what they said, you get some time to think about what you're going to say next, and you get some active listening bonus skills. So, for example, so you want to know which certifications our trainers have? Okay, yes. I was thinking about the certification our trainers have. So, which ones are you specifically looking for? Right? So it's just, if you repeat, so it's like multiple benefits, right? So if you repeat back what they said, right? You are first demonstrating active listening, and you are buying time, right? I think, should we add this as a note, as a
Okay.
trick, like a
Yeah.
tip?
But I mean, all these notes we're adding, there needs to be some training to actually incorporate them.
This is all going to Joan and you, right? Like, so I don't know what training. This is like they read the note, they say, oh yeah, that makes sense, and then
Well, the
yeah, we can
setters
have
might.
like, yeah, I mean, yeah, training is, I mean, that should be incorporated in daily training, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you ever get into a ghost mode and don't know how to respond right away and need to think, you can just slow down and slowly ask what they just asked you. This allows you to stay in the sale and keep rapport rather than having a long, awkward silence. Don't be a parrot, but the reality is too few people listen at all, so this is good practice in general for most. Yeah, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
add this then to implement as a, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
to implement as like a note in our sales training, on our closer page. Okay, next. Before getting real, get permission. If you are seen as an authority, then you can say, can I be a coach instead of a friend here? Can I put my real hat on? Do you mind if I get real with you for a second before we move on? Will you be will you totally will it be totally overstepping for me to share something with that might be uncomfortable? Can I tell you something I told somebody in the exact same position? These are all ways to gain permission before giving someone a harsh truth. This is not going to work if you're like a 20-year-old guy closing a 40-year-old business owner that's doing 20 million per year. In those scenarios, you use, oh, this sounds like someone just like you. We looked earlier in the associate part of AAA framework, because it's using the authority of someone else like them, or someone like you who saw success, or someone in your business or product that you can lean on, like our senior engineer or our founder, as long as they have authority. Salesperson can transfer some of this authority in giving them a harsh truth. always do AAA before telling a harsh truth. So AAA is what? We do acknowledge, associate, and then ask, right? So we first acknowledge what they said, and then we associate. So associate, we're like, well, I just talked to this guy in a similar position. He had a similar problem, and this is what I told him. Instead of telling them the harsh truth directly, right? So, like example of harsh truth would be, oh yeah, the weight training doesn't work on me, or something like, um, oh yeah, I have thyroid, that's why I'm overweight, or something like, which is like obviously, you know, maybe some truth in it, but then, obviously you're also eating more, right, or whatever, right? So if you have to tell someone that harsh truth, that it's your eating habits and not exercising that's making you overweight, they'll get offended if you tell them directly. But if you tell them through, oh, I had this another person in the similar situation and this is what I told them, right? Then it comes off as less intense. Yeah. So, what should we do? Ask.
Well, we already have a thread for AAA.
I think this might be like a note thing that goes. That might be need to be merged. I'll add it, right? So we don't lose it. Okay. Because these are just guidelines. It's unlike the money models thing we do where we actually looked at the scripts. These are not scripts, right? These are just the guidelines on how to handle. Okay. So the next one is learn to stack closes. If someone is hesitant during the close, say, I don't have a lot of time right now, you can say, the first thing we'll do is cut off 90% of the stuff that's not working because that's why you're here, so that you'll be spending time doing the stuff that matters. At the end of the day, it's a question of priorities, not time, because there are other people in the industry that are growing faster than you. They have the same resources, so we just need to allocate them differently. I understand that you're totally busy and it's totally reasonable that you say that. So let me ask you this. Did you think you are ever going to be not busy in the future? It's a trap. They'll say yes. Then ask, do you think you're ever going to be busy again in the future? They'll say yeah. So if you can't succeed when you're busy, it means you'll fall off when you're busy again. So if you want this to be permanent, then we need to figure out how to make it work during all seasons. Does that make sense? You see how we trapped? So you did 3 closes in a row because the prospect was hesitant. Oh, so you started by saying, cut off 90% of stuff. We're going to cut off 90% of the stuff that doesn't work. Then he got into priorities. Then he got into the busy, not busy trap, right? So he's like kind of like doing multiple stacking closes. If one close works well, often a second one works even better. So you can stack multiple closes together. Learning how to stack closes and weave them together will make all your closing more effective. What do you think? Like if you're doing like 1 to 10 close?
Yeah.
You remember 1 to 10 close?
Yeah.
How do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10? They might say, oh, of like moving forward, they might say 7. And then you say, all right, so what will make it a 10? Like all of these are like traps, right?
Yeah.
It's good, right? That sounds like, yeah, we can discuss this and see if it applies to us, if it doesn't apply to us, or like it might be just a thing we add to the closing objection handling. Okay, next. Don't memorize, understand. Knowing the theory behind a clause is more important than trying to memorize what the clause is. If someone comes with a time objection, they're too busy. It's really understanding that it's a prioritization thing. So we have to allocate the resources differently. All the objections around time is going to be around that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you hear this all the time, like especially on the HWB side. Oh, I don't have time. Right? And you'll be like, well, everyone has the same amount of resources. How are you allocating them? How are you prioritizing them? A decision maker clause will be around you want support, not permission. They're going to ask for permission. We are going to empower the person. We're going to rely on the past behaviors the person has said. We're going to fact find, like, they have done all these other things that indicate they are already okay with making that decision. So I think you want to go for support, not permission. It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. You can joke about it.
Does that work in the context? Because land, like, they'd be buying it as a. If
Yeah,
we're
it
talking
might not
some-
apply to us.
Yeah.
Because for Jim, it's,
Yeah.
it's like clearly they, right? They need to do it. Okay. If someone is saying details, it's going to be preferences. I want your thing my way. It was especially true, like in some of the calls, people will be like, oh, can I do it this way? Can I skip participating in auctions? Can I do direct mail? I was like, yeah, you can, but then the outcome is not guaranteed because you're not following the plan. So we need to overcome the fact that if they change the variable, they change the outcome, right? All the clauses around details will be around that fundamental line of reasoning. If someone says money, then you will have to zero in on value because nothing is ever too expensive. It's just not worth it. If you're getting a Ferrari for 5K, you'd find a way to come up with 5K. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Resourcefulness, not resources. If you really thought this was going to be the thing that changes your life, you'd find a way to make it work. If I were giving you the keys to my Ferrari, you'd call 10 friends and get the money together, which means fundamentally you don't see the value. Every piece of obstacle people will throw at you, you just have to understand the fundamental fallacy of belief they're presenting with so you can help overcome it. Stall overcomes or stall linked back to decision avoidance. It's typically either fear of making the wrong decision, which we reassure that it is the right decision, and not knowing how to make a decision. So we walk them through how to make a logical decision, what questions they should ask, and we just lead them through it. Understanding the argument behind the objections will help close more deals instead of memorizing. You only need to have 2-3 clauses per obstacle that you really like. Anything you want to capture?
I think the core of this is we need to have
Conceptualize like once again, not a script, but like this is how you handle.
or we need multiple clauses for each potential objection, right?
Multiple clauses for each potential objection. No, this is stacking, right? No, this pointer is more about not memorizing, which we already know in objection handling. I'm guessing you will also get objection handling in your freelance strategy calls, right? Around all of these things. So it's important for you to understand how to handle them, the concept. Okay. All right. So I added, you just take the nuggets out and add as notes, right? And we can discuss. Okay. Next is, if you get lost in the details, zoom out. Use phrases like, big picture, or let's zoom out for a second. Best case, worst case. Best case, you get this thing. Worst case, you get 6 weeks of free service from us and you'll get your money back if you hate us. Best case, worst case are especially strong if you have any kind of guarantee. At the end of the day, I mean, we could say that, right? Best case, this property works out. Worst case, you exchange it for something else.
Yeah, we had a line like that at one point that we were using.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. At the end of the day, you have two options. Both are risk-free. You can not do this, go home, and that's guaranteed to get you in the exact same position you are in currently. Or you can take a shot here, also risk-free, but you have a chance of getting what you want. So one is guaranteed to not, and the other's got a chance, and both are risk-free. Which one you want? Yeah? I think might be a good line we can use.
I'm not sure it's an exact fit because...
No, with the guarantee thing, it is, right?
No, but I mean, it might not be as strong with land because if someone's like, well, so one, they don't get their money back, right? They just have the option to exchange for another property, but there's still some risk. Like what if there isn't another property that works? And if they don't do anything, I mean, they don't have land, but for most people, that's not like...
Yeah, we can say relatively low risk. We can use the word relatively. Okay. All right. So next is R in closer. So reinforce the decision. You reinforce the decision after you have gotten the money. So handshakes, not handoffs. So use BAM-FAM. In every interaction with a customer, they should know exactly when the next time they're meeting and with whom. With whom person should know all of the conversation they have had until that point, so they know a lot about the prospect and what salespeople have said up to that point. So they know the goals, aspiration, fears, pains. So when they talk to them, they can talk in those terms and it'll be much more compelling. We already do that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Don't do handoffs. Handoff is like good luck and the sales passes them to the customer success team. Instead do handshakes. John, this is Sarah. Sarah is going to help you with XYZ problems so you can accomplish ABC goals, and she'll walk you through what the next steps will be. She'll take care of you. She has cured cancer 6 times, and someone told me she walked on water once. I can't confirm it, but she's amazing. You use that line? Sarah gets on and says, John will help you take care of this thing. And the way we are going to do this, and then do the proof promise plan, but specific and personalized to the plans, to the pains and aspirations of John. We're doing PPP on
the orientation call. We are, but we're not setting up like personalized plans.
How will you set up personalized?
Yeah, I'm not sure how.
I mean, at least personalized to their pains and goals, right? At least we mention what are the pains and goals they have mentioned, right?
Well, we're not doing that in the orientation call right now.
So we should. That's what I'm saying. We want to reinforce the decision because we want to keep more sales, not just make more sales. It will result in a lot fewer dropouts and cold feet. Okay, so I'll add this. See if we have room for improvement. Yes?
We do. And I think on the customer success side, we should also...
Yeah, PPP, right? Proof Promise Plan, agenda. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not... The core isn't PPP because we're doing that in the... It's that it needs to be personalized.
Yeah, okay. All right. So next, we get into more objection handlings, right? These are all the objection handlings that come up. So he just wanted to cover as much as possible. So we're towards the end now. And that's the reason why, we should finish it and then we can take a few days off while I complete the remaining. Because it's going to take me a few days to complete the remaining. Yeah? So let's see how much we can knock out today. And maybe we'll just need one more and then we can take like 3-4 days off while you implement and I finish the remaining on the other side. Okay. So cheap competitor close. If ours was the same as theirs, which one would you do? They'll say yours. Then ask why. They'll say, well, you have this thing is better, my friend referred you, etc. So you respond, right, that's why we are more, because we're better. Did you understand?
Mm-hmm.
This is very clever.
Mm-hmm.
Should we try that? Because this happens all the time,
Yeah.
right? They'll be like, well, that's cheaper. I'll say, okay. So if ours was the same price as theirs, which one would you take? And they'll say, well, yours. And then you say, why? And they give you the reason. So exactly, that's why we are more. Because it's good, right?
Yeah.
That's insane. A lot of good stuff here. So you have them tell you all the things that make you better rather than you telling them what makes you better. Usually when you say it like that, people will laugh and then you say it in a joking tone, right? That's why we are more, because we're better. And you know it. That's why you're here. Yes?
Yeah.
This definitely we should add, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. Zoom ID close. So author prefers to close sales rather than asking for a form of payment when in person, to ask for their ID first, because they'll take out their wallet and put it on the table. And once that happens, a lot of little things can't happen. Like they can't say, oh, they forgot their wallet or credit card. You can also do small talk based on their ID. You should see my pic. Oh, my friend lives there as well, etc. Then say on the zip code you have on your ID, is that the same form of payment you want to use? Then he holds the ID between his finger and says, I'll trade it for whichever card you want to use. If you're on Zoom, say, can you put your ID next to the camera? It's to make sure we associate the right client profile with the right payment. This is to make sure you are you. Or just say, that's how we have always done it. What do you think? Does it apply to us?
We could try it. We've never.
Right now we're just walking them through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Zoom ID close. What do you think? What do you think it might?
I think we should put it in future ideas. I feel like there's a lot more we need to implement first, and this might be a little trickier. I don't know. Well, we should ask Joan. I don't know if she feels like people might be weirded out by us asking for an ID.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think we have had this objection. Like this probably is more applicable to when you're in person.
That they forgot their wallet.
Their wallet.
That's not really a valid objection in our sales floor.
That's fine. I'll remove it.
Yeah.
I'll remove it then. We don't need to implement everything, right?
I mean, we could put it in future ideas in case.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Decision maker. I'll talk to my spouse, my business partner, etc. Fundamentally, they're saying they don't have the authority to make the decision. If what you sell will materially affect a business or household, then you want to give the opportunity to talk to their spouse in the setting process. You can bring both of them on the call, then close both partners. Some salespeople make 2 sales out of it. For example, personal training, because you get better results when you do it together. If the other person cannot be on the sales call, then you can say, what will happen if they say no? If you are talking to a more egotistical person, you can say, what happens if they don't give you permission? Mm-hmm. They might say, well, I don't need their permission. All right, then let's take care of the paperwork. They might also say, I'd do it anyway, so let's move forward. If they say they wouldn't do it, if the partner said no, then ask, what do you think will be their main concern? Shift from you're not the decision maker. So now let's talk to this hypothetical person. They use their partner as a foil. The same way we use this hypothetical person we talked to earlier today as a foil for what they want. So what's their main concern? They'll tell you their main concern through this hypothetical person, and then you can, what do you think that'll make them say no? What would make it an absolute yes for them? What would it take for us to move forward? If they keep saying no, move to past agreements. Foil. The word foil confused me because I've never used it in the alternative sense. It's like an hypothetical alter ego kind of thing. Alter, huh? How did you explain it?
Well, they're saying in in a book, it would be like if you have two characters who are opposites, and you have the main character you're trying to highlight, and then you have another character who's like a almost caricature of the opposite, as a way to bring out the opposing qualities in your main character, right?
Is this the same how it's being used here or no?
This is being used a little bit different. In this context, in both contexts, it's a little bit different. You're basically
So you're saying it's not the
using,
correct use of the word?
I don't know. I mean, there might be many different ways you can use it. But in this context, you're using someone else almost like as a smoke screen to talk about what you want to talk about.
Yeah, the hypothetical person.
Yeah.
Okay. When do you think this will be a good indication that they would be okay with it? From the stuff they've already done, they have done already. Do they know that you're here? Have you bought things like this in the past? Do they know you're in pain with this situation right now? If they don't approve of your current situation, why would they not approve of solving something that they already don't approve of? If you still can close them, resort to support, not permission. So like stacking clauses, right? Try to break their foil because you can isolate issues and tackle them rather than getting around decision maker. But if they insist on decision maker and you insist on having to close the sale right now, they go into, hey, I think you're asking for permission where you should really be asking for support. At the end of the day, if we play this out, let's say your business doesn't grow, who are you going to blame? Is it fair to the partnership that you don't get this outcome because you rely on this person? If you continue to not get this person's permission 5 years down the road, where are you going to be? Who are you going to blame? If you are the one in charge, they are the ones who also get out of the blame, which means you're not in any way control of your own life. I don't think it's fair to you. I don't think it's fair to them. I don't think it's fair to the relationship. That's a bit heavy-handed, right?
Yeah, I don't know about, especially with land where it's...
Yeah, it doesn't apply. This decision maker is the hardest one to overcome because it's the only one where the person says, I can make the decision. So you see if they do have the authority and if they're using it as a smokescreen, or if they're using it because they don't want to say what the real objection is, then they're using this person to tell you hard truths because they're afraid of insulting you. It goes both ways. But if they truly don't have decision-making authority, then go into past agreements, like they may not have the authority, but they have already agreed with you based on past agreements. So it's a 4-step clause. You actually have authority and don't care. You are afraid to tell me that you have authority. They don't have authority, but they already have agreed based on what they have already done. Trying to have them take authority of their own lives by asking for support, not permission. I guess fourth one we can...
Yeah, that we should...
scrap.
I mean, I think the two main points we can take from this is first, this is something we're probably not doing. It's going to tie into the BANT, but we should be doing a better job of making sure we have all decision makers on the closing calls. So this doesn't become an issue.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the biggest takeaway. The other would be if someone still is saying, I don't have full decision-making ability, to maybe press a little bit to see if that's really true or whether they're just trying to avoid insulting you by like deferring to someone else.
But if you're doing a very high-ticket close, like selling a house, and both people will be required, just involve both the decision makers. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the main takeaway.
So involve both decision
Yeah.
makers early.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we don't need anything else, or do you think we should still? Because it's totally
It just,
possible they have the authority.
yeah, I mean, we could potentially, if they say I don't have the decision making powers or I have to talk to my spouse or whatever, we could dig a little bit to see if maybe,
They have the authority.
but I do feel like it's bordering a little bit on the, like, I don't feel so great about that with land, because that does feel like a purchase where if you're married or you have a significant other, like both parties should be involved, right?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, actually, we might be able to finish this.
Yeah, I mean, I think all this makes sense in the context of a gym where, like, you're usually talking about a relatively small amount, a gym membership, and it's related to the person's health. Like, it seems like something they should be able to just buy themselves, right?
Yeah. Okay. So we're almost done with this. Let's just finish it. So everything sounds amazing. Give me some time. So there's a false truth in it, which is it's actually not good enough. You say, so what will you be doing instead? They'll say XYZ. Do I mind if I ask you a question I asked someone earlier today? Do you mind if I share it with you? Do you think doing XYZ will get you better returns than what we just talked about? Time is priorities. Fundamentally, they're saying, I have done things that are more important. I have other things that are more important, but we have to do this. No, this is more important, which means we have to elevate the value of what we are currently doing and devalue what they are currently doing. Do you think you'll be making more than this? If they say yes, ask why. If they say no, say let's prioritize this. Let's get this rolling. If they are right, maybe they should be doing some other thing. But if your product or service can genuinely help them make more money, then you have to break it down for them. Then cover cost of inaction. Let's put down a number. If we improve your conversion rate by 30%, they'll increase revenue by 30%, but you have gross margins of 90, your current net margins are 30. So if you do that, you'll actually double the profit in your business. So the things you're currently working on, are those doubling the profit of your business, and over what time period? If we were able to double the profit of the business, will that allow you to make those things happen even faster? Just asking so I can understand. In situations like this, you always have to use the seek to understand frame. If you have elevated yourself as a helpful guide, then it shouldn't feel combative.
Combative.
Just so I'm clear, you are saying the stuff that you're currently doing will make you more money than what you are talking about. If they say no, say, oh yeah, so why are you prioritizing it? A lot of times when someone gives you answers like this, you can ask why, because then you can chunk them up to reason and then basically say, oh, my thing solves that reason even better. A lot of people say that, right? Oh, I need more time. So I think we can use this as a tip, right?
Yeah, I think this is something, though, where we would have to actually kind of script it out a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Next one is no guarantee. So use the anti-guarantee to sell around guarantee. So when you have a product with no guarantees, right? So you say, if you are the type of person who needs a guarantee, then this is definitely not for you. Because at the end of the day, we can control what we do, but we can control what you do. Do you think it is fair for us to guarantee work that I have no input in doing? In general, the more control you have, the more you can offer a guarantee. The less control you have, the less you can offer a guarantee. Do a takeaway sale on the guarantee. Oh, this is really for people who are serious about doing it. Are you serious about doing it? Okay, cool. I can't eat the food for you. I can't work out for you. I can give you the guide and tell you hundreds of other people have succeeded, but I can't do it for you myself. Does that sound reasonable? Does that sound fair? Does that make sense? Anti-guarantee doesn't apply to us because we have the exchange guarantee,
We do.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can use that on the HWB side. Anti-guarantee.
Yeah. I mean, maybe for the GLAD.
Hmm.
Because we used to have a guarantee on that, and then people took advantage of it to pirate the course, right? So we can't offer it anymore.
Yeah, on GLAD we can.
Hmm.
For GLAD. For the GLAD, you will use this. Right? Because you're like, well, I'm giving you all the support. You can't, like, refund support, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me watch your free stuff. Sometimes people will say that. You should respond with absolutely. You should do that and do that before you start our program. If you do that successfully, one of two things would happen. Either you're going to succeed, in which case you'll run into another problem I can help you with, or you're not going to succeed, in which case I can help you solve a bigger problem. Or I can help you solve to begin with. But either way, you should get started. So let's get you moving. I guess this doesn't apply to us.
Yeah.
We don't have freeze. Like, this is more like someone who has a YouTube channel. Let me watch some of your free videos.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it might also apply to GLAD.
No, I think it's fine.
Yeah,
It's yeah. You can say, yeah, I mean, it's just gonna waste time, right? Prioritize. Okay. All right. So sales mindset, this is actually not from this training. This is from a previous training we did. But I think we already incorporated most of it.
Okay.
So I think we should just cover it so it's complete, and then we can finish it. Right? So it's done, and then we can take next meeting we can do on Friday. Today is what? Saturday?
Yeah.
So we can take like 5 days off because I need 4 or 5 days to finish my.
Oh, I desperately need that time to implement so many things.
Okay, so
So
let's
many
finish
things.
it. All right. Sales mindset. So you can move the next one to Friday then, or whatever.
It's going to be a different topic, though, won't it?
Yeah. It'll be. Oh yeah. Actually,
So you're going to have to
rename. Yeah, we can have
yeah.
someone do it. Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah. Okay. Let's discuss this right now.
Okay.
All right. Let's finish this sales mindset because we have already finished this. We've already implemented this, but we need to cover it as part of the completion of this series.
Okay.
So person who cares more about the prospect wins the sale. If they care, so this is all mindset stuff. This is not nothing to do with scripts. If you care more about themselves than you care about them, they will win.
If they care more about themselves.
If they care more about themselves than you care about them. Or you need to care more. So essentially you have to care more, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think this ties into you shouldn't go into the call saying, I need to make this sale. It's about making a sale. It's more about really trying to help the person.
Yeah.
And sometimes that means accepting you're not going to make the sale, right?
Yeah. If you truly care about them, you'll usually not lose rapport in the sale because you'll always seek to understand. So your tone will change, your conviction would change. It's no longer a good idea for them. You should no longer sell them. If it's no longer a good idea, tell them, I think it's a good idea for you to not do this. There's nothing more powerful than learning to turn away prospects, which will increase your overall closing percentage because you will know that you were in this to help people make decisions to help themselves. If you try to close everybody, it will start to wear on you over time because you'll know. You are. Hold on.
You have a sound effect for
I have a
this?
sound effect for this. Hold on.
But this one isn't PG, right? You can say it.
No, hold on. Yeah, you are a piece of. This is the first time I use this sound.
Yeah.
Oh, this one came with this.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
This is the only one I didn't delete.
Okay.
I was like, well, we might use it. Okay. Instead, make sure.
I've said this before. I'm surprised at how clean you've managed to keep all of
Clean.
them.
But we are live. Like,
Yeah.
what do you expect? You have to be on the best behavior. Otherwise, it will become non-PG very fast. Okay, so instead, make sure to qualify prospects, never lie. And if you keep the person as the center of the sale, then if someone says, I got to think about it, you'll be like, sir, I'm trying to figure out how to make this work for you, but I know it's because I know it's going to help you and I want to help you make this decision because I genuinely believe that. What are you most afraid of right now? Like, what are you afraid of having happened? Then go into the heart of it. If you keep the rapport, you'll close more sales because they'll feel that you do care. Volume negates luck. Sales is a numbers game. Guys who become the best salespeople are the ones who do the most volume. The more you do, the better you get, and the better you get, the more you do. In the beginning, that's what I was telling you as well. You gotta, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning, you want to force feed yourself. I mean, the one thing I would say is when you are doing these calls, you have a habit of not taking detailed notes, right? So I think that's what I would say, right? Also, open more slots. I think I already messaged you about that.
I did add the extra hour Saturday, Sunday.
No, on like every day.
There aren't more right now.
No, the between 5 p.m., right? 5 and 6. Oh,
I
sorry,
can't
4
do
to 5?
I already have
What's 4 to 5?
I already have that blocked. I have 3 to
No, that's not available.
4 to 5.
Yeah.
I can't. I
What do
won't
you
be able to do that. That's in between.
Yeah, that's fine. If there's a call, there's a call.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying. Otherwise, how would you're basically block the whole calendar and say, these are the 2 hours. No one's gonna book. It defeating the purpose, right? Because if someone books it, then you have the next slot you can just block and do the videos or whatever, right? After 6, right? Okay, it's fine. We can discuss offline. In the beginning, you want to force feed yourself with tons and tons of volume so you can get through the terrible period as fast as possible. A master in any domain has more ways to reward themselves. If you are a master editor, when you look at a video, there are 100 things you can do that you know how to do, that you enjoy doing, that you have been rewarded in the past for doing. If you are a master salesman, you like pulling a sale out of the depths. You love overcoming the details. You enjoy being in the red zone and navigating those conversations because it's a fun challenge for you. When you are a beginner, you are freaked out, you're paranoid, and you don't know what you're doing. If everyone else is working out once a day, you work out 3 times per day, you're going to get much better, much faster. Find the person on your team who is the best closer and do double the effort they're doing. It's not easy. Welcome to getting better. That's exactly what I'm saying, right? It's not going to be easy. You have to find time. At the very best, all the very best returns in life come at the very end of mastery. People give up too soon and don't wait for the compounding returns to take into effect. You have to approach sales as a skill. If you feel like you hate it, it's because you're just not skilled enough. Best salespeople love selling, best editors love editing, best writers love writing. When best editors started editing, they sucked at editing. Yes? Okay. All right. Let's power through this. Sales resumes don't matter. Do group interviews instead of resume screening is the easiest way to scale a sales team. I used to do that, by the way. I don't know if you know this. When I would hire at work, when I had a job, people would send like so many resumes and we would like screen them. And I was like, just put everyone on the same call. I would do like 5 people. Like one time I did like so many, right? And then there were like 5 in person. I was like, I'm not going to do 5 hours worth of interview. Send them all to the conference room. Right? And one guy was like, what is this? The Hunger Games? Like, it's like, that's exactly what this is. Right? And then the people enjoyed it as well. They were like, oh, this was a fun experience.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's a once in a lifetime experience because no one's going to be crazy enough to do 5 people interviews at one time in a conference room. Okay. Because the star salesperson will speak up, be more assertive, be more social, better at communicating, and the really good ones will also encourage other people who are nervous. Always hire for the lowest skill deficiency, which allows for a faster ramp up and highest return on investment for them becoming proficient in the business. Then use training and fast feed feedback loops to get them to behave how you want them to. Most of the time, the comp reward cycle is so delayed, they're not just going to try as hard as they can. They're just going to try as hard to sell. Like he's saying, like if you like offer too much to a one salesperson and hoping that it's gonna keep them motivated, it's not, because usually you get like bonuses at the end of the year, right? So it doesn't matter. You just need to focus on training, and don't just assume, oh, just because I'm paying them extra, they're gonna do a good job. You still need to train them.
Well, I think also isn't the key. You got to identify
Yeah,
the
lowest
skill that is going to make or break whether they can actually learn to get good through your training, right? And you just
lowest. No. It's saying lowest skill deficiency, as in like if because you'll have to spend more time training them, and it'll take longer for them to get up to speed.
I thought at another point though, he said you want to have your training be so good that you can actually hire people who are
Right.
like-
But still, you still take longer if someone
like,
brand new, right? Sales and marketing are one continuum. Sales and marketing should be one department, work together. I mean, this is not a problem for us because it's like we're a small company.
yeah.
In a hypothetical world, if the customers are knowledgeable, they would make the decisions on their own. We discussed this, right?
Yeah.
Tesla, they don't have a sales team
Yeah.
because so much information is available, because it's sales is an education process.
Right.
We already have so much content. They already know what they're buying. Just like I signed up for the gym, right? I like this did so much research that like, oh, I already know all the programs. I'm just gonna skip their sales team. I just booked online.
Yeah.
If you have enough marketing, people can get enough information to make the buying decision on their own, right? That's exactly. But whenever you have sufficient marketing to get people buying on their own, you typically have even a larger pool of people who do need more selling to occur to close the info gap. Think of sales as personalized marketing. If someone needs to know 6 things in order to buy, if marketing covers 1, 2, and 3, you, the salesperson, cover 4, 5, and 6. If someone comes and knows 1, 3, and 5, you would cover 2, 4, 6. So basically, it allows you to personalize the info required to get this person to make a decision. Having a sales team will almost always improve the overall ROI. So basically, that's the whole point of the personalized. We're gonna go into much deeper in the next training. Basically, the reason for the personalized call, like it's not like we don't have all the information available, right? Everything is online. It's just that people have limited time; they don't know enough, so they have a lot of gaps, right? So the reason you have a person do the call is so you can fill in those gaps. Yeah, having a sales team will almost always improve the overall ROI. Okay, belief and trust. It's not that the prospect needs to trust you. It's about how much they trust you and how much do they believe you. It's not like they didn't trust you enough, which allows you to do more things that increase trust and belief. The more things you can do to increase the trust and belief, the more likely they'll buy from you. Sales is an education process, which you teach them in order to change behavior. A little plane needs a smaller runway to take off than a bigger plane. So if you're selling a more expensive thing, you'll need more info, more selling before you can close. We're going to go in much deeper in the next, on the Friday training. Friday is a non-gym day or is it gym day? We'll have to do the math.
No, it's not.
Okay, so Friday.
Yeah.
We're going to do Friday. Okay. If you are, a week should really have 8 days. Otherwise, every other day doesn't work because it changes right?
Or we just set our days every week.
But then you lose.
Yeah, but then it makes it easier to schedule things.
No, I'll pass. Okay. If you're doing 2, 3, 4 calls closes, that means you're not doing enough education before the first call. Right? So essentially saying it should be like a 1 call close. Ideally, it might not work on land because they have to check it out. Okay, next thing is say less. You want 2/3 of the talk time from the prospect, not you. That's one of the reasons, Erica, when you were doing this script and I kept saying, oh, no, this is too much, it's too wordy. Because you want them to do 2/3 of the talking. That's because they are answering your questions. You're not answering theirs. Master interviewers are very good at letting silence sit. People like to talk about themselves. People go deeper if they do not respond. if you do not respond. Give them time to talk. The more they talk, the more rapport you have. People think you're amazing without you ever saying anything. Don't be cute. Don't try fancy sales moves. The best salespeople follow the script. They follow the script. Remember how you were like, oh, just wing it. They follow up quickly. They listen, keep good rapport, ask good questions, and they allow the prospect to close themselves. The great salespeople never not do the basics. When you always do the fundamentals, you sustain exceptionally high close rates. They always prepare for sales calls. They always do warm handouts. They always refer to the notes before asking the customer for recap. They always set the agenda with proof from his plan. Right? Do you remember you submitted the script and I was like, oh, it's missing proof from his plan? That needs to be, that's like the intro of a YouTube video, right? Is you always use proof from his plan. Doing the fundamentals means doing a lot of things over and over again and never forgetting any of those steps. That's what creates mastery. That's an exhibition of skill. All right. We are almost there. Next, no for now is not no forever. So no might mean not right now. It's not the perfect time because the obstacle they gave you at the time might be legit, which means you should not be afraid of reaching out every 3 to 6 months to do a pulse check. This is where sending those fun memes or one-line emails can make you so much money because so many people are afraid to follow up because it's extra work, because they're afraid of rejection. If you genuinely believe you're going to help the prospect because they are qualified for whatever the solution is. Be a trash man. Yellow equal to gold. Every lead should have a lead score or lead color or lead temperature. We have that, right? Warm, hot, cold. A new salesperson should be willing to take as many yellow or like cold sales calls as possible because they're not trained yet. They treat the yellows as golds. Author would try to close homeless people, saw it as an advanced level boss to go against rather than a waste of time. Always keep sharpening the sword. Repetition is the mother of skill. Next, objections do not mean no. Obviously, you can overcome objections by handling it, but a lot of times they're just voicing out loud their reaction. This is especially true when it comes to prices. If someone says, oh, wow, that's expensive, it doesn't mean automatically that you need to start overcoming price objections. You could just totally say, there are many times in your life that you found something was expensive and yet you still bought it. An inexperienced salesperson might waste bullets or zombies that are not there. They were going to close either way. That's not a real objection. They didn't say no. They just made an observation. Unless someone says they don't want to buy, don't assume they don't want to buy. Should we add this?
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, I'm going to add this. Okay. All right. Never change the price to close a sale. We know this already, right? People talk, customers don't like it. If you're changing price between customers, testing prices should be done ahead of time. Author's favorite overcome if someone says, can you do it for less? Response, we can do it for more. As silly as it sounds, it never has not worked for the author. It's such a high indication of purchasing intent when someone says, can you do it for $500 less? When you say we can do it for more, it re-anchors and gives them fear of missing out. You can, however, change terms like a payment plan or a feature downsell, but those are very different than discounts you give for no reason. Never negotiate with a terrorist, because if they see you change your price once, they will believe that every price you have is negotiable, and they'll tell everyone.
I'm sorry.
They will tell everyone about it too. Should we add that as well as a?
Yeah, I mean, we're already doing this.
No, well, we can do it for more.
Yeah.
That line. Yeah, we should. Good to know as a note. I think you can just add it in the objection handling section, notes to concepts, right? Kind of thing. All right, next. People want to buy. When you are browsing on the site, you want the thing. People like buying. The only reason they don't buy is because they have a history of being punished for buying in the past. Our job is to help them justify making their decision. People want an excuse to buy. You need to give it to them. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have 4 sections left. Almost done. Hang in there, people. Hang in there. Closers ask hard questions because they genuinely care. It's important because you want to be kind, not nice. Because nice people don't want to offend someone. Kind people want to genuinely help. If you want to genuinely help, you want them to change the behavior. That means something you have to call them. Sometimes you have to call them on their BS. The tactical way of doing that is that you want to confront those hard questions before you have asked for money and through foils of other people like them. Yes, this should be like hardwired in your brain now, right? Using the hypothetical person. This is what allows you to stay ahead, stay in the sale, and continue to ask questions that genuinely can change person's life. If you always if you're always using the perspective of human first, you will maintain rapport. If you don't, you will have commission breath because it'll sound like you're not listening to them. You're prioritizing the close over the person. And that's when you lose them completely because they now feel like your incentives are no longer aligned. Yes? Have faith in sales. You can have the best script in the world, but if you don't believe in the product, the script won't matter. The way you talk about your products will indicate the level of conviction that you have. The best salespeople are true believers. That's why a lot of great salespeople come from clients who have already used the product. Ed did this, by the way. He hired like coaches who have already gone through the clients. That's a good idea for an info.
Oh, that Lanky does that too, right?
Yeah. I think HWB, I can do this, right?
Yeah.
Like if it becomes big and I need coaches, just...
Yeah.
Right?
That would be the best way to do it. I'm not sure how we could do that on the Gokche Capital side.
No, it's more for info. As in like hire someone to do sales who have already bought land from us. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although it probably would be pretty effective.
Sales is the transference of conviction. You have person A who does believe, and person B who doesn't believe, and trust is what completes the transfer.
That might actually be kind of interesting. Like, if we ever like win, or if as we scale up, we need to hire another salesperson. Like, reach out to our buyer list and see if anyone wants.
By that time, maybe AI will be able to handle. People are complaining. I saw a lot of comments on, not on our channel, in general, people are complaining, oh, the YouTube, every video is AI. It's hard to tell which one is AI, which one is not. Remember, I got a comment on one of my videos saying that I'm so glad this is not an AI video. And I also got an opposite comment saying this could have been an AI video. Can't please people.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of time, some salespeople start hot, and then all of a sudden they're not selling as well. It's not because they don't know how to sell. Training is not going to fix the problem because they were already closing before and they're not closing now. It's because they have changed something. It's often because they heard something negative from a customer or about the product. The way you prevent this is actively increase conviction, aka what's going to change the way they say the words in the script is by actively having a process to make them believe, in addition to having a good product. How to increase conviction. Weekly meetings with customer success team, sales team, CS team should share the wins. If possible, have a client who left a testimonial on a call with sales team so they can explain their story. The author sales teams was closing 100% on Saturdays in the gym because of the way outs of existing customers, like a graduation ceremony, and people were crying. So the belief conviction was so strong in the salespeople that it overcame the fears and doubts in the prospects. When you have conviction, the way you say things is believable. The way to make it believable is to actually believe it. You close more not based on skill, but based on heart. Make sure the sales team reads the testimonials every morning. It reminds us what we do and why we do this on a regular basis. We already implemented this, right? So you can be part of this transformation process. So you can be part of this transformation people are going through as a result of the product you sell. Salespeople get beat up all day, every day long, all day long, every day. You have to breathe conviction into your sales team because the conviction gets waned over time. It's a cup that needs to be refilled because it's that conviction that is spreading to all the prospects, and the prospects are spreading doubt into your sales team. You need to be, that's why I was like, there was a news story back in the day that Trump, when he was first running he was president, first time, he would have a staff member print out all the positive tweets and comments people had on Twitter, and he will read them in the morning to have conviction. Because there's just so much hate, right? No matter who you are. Okay. We need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. Remind your sales team to believe. People who believe in something automatically sell it. Religious community example. A big part of most faiths is selling the faith. You can tell when someone truly believes the faith. It's not like people go through sales training to bring people to faith. They just truly believe in it. How much and how deeply do you believe? Conviction is not do you believe in the product or do you not believe in the product, but to what extent do you believe in the product? That is a massive predictor of your ability to close. That's why so many founders are such good closers, because they believe in it more than anyone else, and they should be. But you can duplicate that ability in getting other people to believe by having a process in place to do so. Training is just tools about the fundamental work ethic and their desire to actually help someone. Is the difference between them thinking about themselves, their paycheck, and then them thinking about their prospect and how your product will transform their lives and solve their problems. They will fight for the sales so much longer because they genuinely want this person to win and genuinely believe your product will actually help them. It's not do you believe, but how deeply do you believe in the product? If you have ever been around someone who truly believes in something and it's like kind of insane, like aliens, right? Like Simon. It's okay. Simon's not going to watch this. There is a part of yourself that wonders if you are right because you have conviction. You have conviction.
If they are right.
If they are right.
Because they have conviction.
Because they have conviction.
Right?
Yeah, that's the point. You see their depth of conviction, their depth of faith in the thing that I've concluded. The deeper their conviction is, the more you start to question your own belief. Converting to faith example. The person who does the converting can never believe less in the thing than the person being converted. The prospect has to believe in your conviction more than they believe in their doubt in the story they have been telling themselves. The skills are simply a way to clearly communicate and build trust so that your conviction can be transferred, but it starts with having the conviction to begin with in order to initiate the transfer over the bridge of trust. And we are done. All right. What did you think?
Yeah,
you learned
good.
new things?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
A lot of cool stuff, right? A lot of stuff to implement, but good thing we finished it. And the next one is the 100 million lost chapters. I still have, I'm done 70%. So I have 30% left. It's going to take me another 4 or 5 days. So next one we can meet on Friday. But yeah, let's do the CTA then.
Okay. Well, I mean, as you were saying, a lot of stuff, both in this training and then if you really want to be overwhelmed, the 100 million money models.
And
training.
we have the closer training as well.
Yeah.
So we have like probably more than 100 hours worth of training now or sessions.
And the thing is, I mean, it's overwhelming enough to go through all the information, but then you actually have to implement it, which is like a whole other animal in and of itself.
You have to implement it, then you have to implement on the wikis, then you have to execute it, and then you have to get the data, and then you have to refine it.
Then you have to figure out, because it's not going to work right away, right? You got to figure out.
Keep testing it.
Where you're where you're going wrong or where you're not in.
What's working, what's not working. All right. So yeah, check us out.
Mm-hmm.
honestwealthbuilders.com, a mentored mastermind community if you want to join.
Because the point of all of that is it would be much easier if you have a team helping you.
Group of action takers
Yep.
who are all doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Check us out.
And sometimes you need an outside perspective to see what.
Right. All right. So we will be starting a new series on 100 Million Lost Chapters book, which is my favorite so far because I learned a concept
Oh, yeah, your favorite
That-
concept came out of it. Yeah.
that completely changed the direction of the
Yeah.
business. Like it literally just flipped it the way we were thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's that good. All right. So we will. So first, money models was my favorite, right? First, closer was my favorite, right?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna do full screen. We haven't used the full screen at all.
Yeah.
So first, when the money models came out, I was like, oh, this is my favorite.
Well, first spin was.
Spin training. Then money models, right? There was a money models was my favorite. Then I was like, oh, closer. We need to look at closer framework. It's much better than spin. And then it was like, oh, wow, all these overcoming objections, mindset things we didn't know. I was like, oh, this is definitely going to help. And then I was like, holy cow, we didn't even know how to process the leads properly. So that's came out of the 100 million offers, 100 million lost chapters book. So it'll be exciting. All right, guys.